Without any more to do, here he is, the great Les Paul.
All right.
You invented, of course, the first solid body guitar, which they refer to as the log, and that's in the Nashville Hall of Fame today.
It's sitting down there. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that, how that came about. And
okay, that's an interesting story. It starts way back in the 20s when I was playing at a barbecue stand right outside of Waukesha, halfway between there and Milwaukee. And I had whipped up my mother's radio and her telephone, and I sang into the mouthpiece of the telephone, and had the battery radio, so they were charging all the time. It looked like a Frankenstein science fiction thing, you know? A phonograph pickup with a needle in it. And it just came out. It was just beginning to make electric units. Up until that time, the crank. Okay, and an Edison record. And so I jabbed the needle of the guitar, jabbed the needle of the phonograph pickup into the guitar, and lo and behold, it came through my dad's radio, and it was, well, first it was great, and then it would rumble and feedback. And then I found you could only turn it up so loud. So I started to chuck some towels in it, socks, shirts, whatever the hell. Yeah. Plaster of Paris went in there. I had a cement guitar. I did everything. And finally, I said, well, this has to be approached scientifically. So I says, what's the worst thing I can think of in wood? So I says, balsa wood. Well, that was hard to find, but I found some pine from some crate boxes. Get your fruit and things in. And the other half, I says, well now, that would be something like a piece of steel. I live right next to a railroad track. So I got a couple of 4 or 5 of my kids' friends, and we borrowed a wagon. We gave it back to him, but instead of a horse pulling it, the 6 of us would pull the wagon with a piece of railroad track, yay long, like 2 feet long, steel railroad track. And now I had a piece of pine wood over here and a railroad track over here, and the piece of wood just was sad. And the piece of railroad track, when I plucked that string, it was beautiful. Now I had to amplify it. The other half of the telephone, which you listened to, was a coil and a magnet. Humbucked yet. Who knows? I took that thing, put it under the string, and I hear the sound. And the steel guitar was 100 times better than the piece of wood. So I went running to my mother, I've got it, I've got it, I've got it. And I told her the steel piece of railroad track, and she says, the day you see Gene Autry on a horse with a piece of railroad track, oh man, she shot me down right there. And I walked in there with this just long, that's all, 4x4 with strings on the neck. And I played it, and they weren't very impressed. In fact, they thought I was a little strange to come in with a piece of wood like that. So I realized that this was visual, that I should do something about. So I put 2 wings made of hollow wood, put the sides on the guitar so it looked just like a guitar. Went back, played the same song a couple of weeks later, and what happened? I tore them up. They loved it. So I says, hey, said to my wife, I says, I can't believe it, but people see, they hear with their eyes. They hear with their eyes. And I said, you have to have it look like a guitar, or it won't sound like a guitar.